Here we go.
Hello guys, I'm CBMF Productions, and welcome back to the DC Film Retrospective. Today's film takes a more grounded approach to the clown prince of crime himself, Joker. Unlike most of the other films in this retrospective, this one didn't spend decades in development. The film's conception started out in 2016 with Todd Phillips, mainly known for doing straightforward comedies until he decided to change things up a little bit with War Dogs. That came out the same year. Soon after that film came out, he talked to Warner Bros. About doing another project with them. Coincidentally, he came with an idea for a standalone Joker film that would be in the style of early Scorsese films, such as Taxi Driver and King of Comedy. He ended up co-writing a script with Scott Silver throughout 2016 and 2017, trying to see if he could get it made. It seemed like a long shot until DC's big blockbuster films weren't doing so hot with critics, apart from Wonder Woman, and were starting to take a nosedive in the box office profit, especially with Justice League. So Warner Bros. Allowed Todd Phillips to make his movie after misconvincing, and also managed to get high caliber actor Joaquin Phoenix as his title character. This immediately sparked interest in the project because Phoenix is known for being really picky with what he chooses to act in, along with Scorsese, the main filmmaker that inspired Todd Phillips to make the film, acting as a producer after passing up directing the film. I wonder why. Anyways, the film got cast together and was shot in 2018, and as the film moved towards its fall 2019 release, people were skeptical of the movie from the concept alone of why make a standalone Joker film without Batman not sitting in the DCEU, and the other big reason was the fear of the film being a film for incels and would cause mass shootings in theaters, hysteria, and other assumptions that made this film controversial before it even came out. With multiple theaters like the Aurora Theater that The Dark Knight Rises shooting took place refusing to play the film, along with it not being released in China. All those things pointed that this could be a misfire, but thankfully, none of these assumptions came true, and surprisingly, the film got mostly great reviews, being praised for doing something different from the comic genre, along with the performances, made from Phoenix, the score, the directing, and so much more. Not to mention that the film made over $1 billion at the box office, being the only R-rated film to do that so far, and outgrossing most of DC's recent filmography, and receiving tons of awards, from winning the Golden Lion at the Venice Film Festival, to Joaquin Phoenix winning Best Actor, and the composer winning Best Score at the Oscars. The film has been a cultural explosion and has been talked about non-stop since it got released in October of last year. Currently, it's in the air if a sequel will get made due to films in Phoenix both stating they are open to come back, but they need to come back for the right reason if they have a good idea in mind. But I guess we're gonna have to wait and see what happens. But anyways, with the history out of the way, let's get into the plot. The film is set in the grimy Gotham City in 1981 as we follow Arthur Fleck played Joaquin Phoenix, a man on the brink of collapsing in on himself, as he's a social outcast and ignored by society. He takes care of his mentally ill mom, Penny Fleck, played by Frances Conroy, who writes letters to Thomas Wayne, played by Brett Cullen, who in the film is trying to run for mayor to save Gotham due to the amount of crime and unemployment rising in the city, along with the trash protests with trash bags piling up on the streets. Arthur tries to ignore all that as he tries to make people laugh at his day job, being a party clown, and is trying to pursue his dream of being a stand-up comic, and guest star in The Murray Franklin Show, a late-night talk show hosted by Murray Franklin played by Robert De Niro, a show he and his mom watch every night together. But life doesn't stop being Arthur down, as it is a condition that makes him uncontrollably laugh at inappropriate times, causing people to be more freaked out by him. The shrink he goes to get his medication from tells Arthur that they are being shut down due to lack of funding, and also gets beaten up constantly. After being beaten up by a group of kids in an alley, one of his coworkers gives him the gun for protection, but it ends up doing nothing but getting him fired after he drops out of his coat while performing at a children's hospital. Later that night, he rides the subway alone as he's intimidated by 3 drunk men, as Arthur ends up using the gun to kill all 3 of them. He then proceeds to go to a bathroom and start dancing to calm himself down. Arthur's crime then starts a protest across the city with people wearing face masks, taking Arthur's murders, which they don't know he did, as a way of tearing down the rich and powerful of the city. Immediately when it's revealed that the 3 men Arthur killed were employees of Wayne. Meanwhile, Arthur meets his neighbor Sophia Dumond, played by Zazie Beetz, and their young daughter, as they start to form a relationship as he attends his stand-up performances, which goes poorly. Alongside that, his mom reveals that he's actually Thomas Wayne's son, so he decides to go to Thomas Wayne's mansion to find him, but comes across his son Bruce who tries to entertain him to open the gate, but runs away when the family butler Alfred shows up. He then later finds out his mom had a stroke and is in the hospital. While there, a couple detectives suspect Arthur is the one behind the murders, and try to catch him by picking up any clues, but end up empty. He goes to visit his mom and Sophia, but then sees on the TV that his stand is being roasted by Murray Franklin. He at first is disheartened by this, but later gets a call from Murray's agency that they want him on the show because of the immense popularity he brought to it. He immediately accepts and begins to plan out his performance by dancing, and also plans to kill himself on live TV with a gun. As these are going on, the riots are sobering up, as Wayne tries to use these protests in his favor, but while in the bathroom, comes across Arthur, and when he starts rambling about it being his son, Thomas punches Arthur in the face and leaves. He then goes to the hospital, and because of the lie his mom told him about being a Wayne, mainly from going to Arkham Asylum to find his mom's files, and find out how his mom adopted him as a toddler and was abused mainly from her boyfriend at the time, causes him to stop and suffocate his mom with a pillow as he goes to Sophia's place to talk. But she is fine when he shows up because it's revealed that all this time, the other scenes together apart from the elevator one, were all Arthur's hallucination. He goes back to his place to get ready for the show, putting on clown face he used to wear for his job, as two old co-workers show up to check on him, but ends up snapping again, kills one of the co-workers that gave him the gun in the beginning of the film, but leaves the other one alive because he was nice to Arthur. He then dyes his hair green and wears a suit as he famously dances on the Bronx staircase, as he's chased by the two detectives in the subway, where Arthur ensues in a riot when he starts a mass fight in the subway, and ends up getting away where the detectives are hospitalized from the fights. He makes it the Murray Franklin show in full gear, but Murray doesn't mind the makeup because he thinks it's just a political statement. As Arthur asks him to be announced as the Joker, referring to what Franklin called him earlier in the film, he gets on stage and immediately makes things uncomfortable, but making dark jokes that get Murray uneasy, as he and Arthur get into an argument about how society is treating him like trash and how Murray is a fraud. It ultimately leads to Arthur pulling out his gun, not to kill himself, but to shoot Murray in the head on live TV, as everyone runs out of the studio terrified, as the streets of Gotham become chaos with people fighting all over, buildings being caught on fire, cars crashing into one another, all the time Wayne and his wife being shot in the alleyway, leaving their son Bruce being the sole survivor, as Arthur is arrested for his actions, but the cop car he rides and gets crashed into by an ambulance, as he's dragged out and the crowd praises him as he starts dancing with a bloody smile on his face, as it cuts to him in prison in Arkham as he's being interviewed by a psychiatrist, which he's not scared by, as he runs into the hallways chasing other employees, possibly doing the killing the psychiatrist, as Arthur is now fully transformed into the Joker, as credits roll. This one's a very interesting experiment in the comic genre that paid off immensely well. It shows that you shouldn't judge a book by its cover, and shows how well you can do different types of films with comic characters, because this film, at the very least, is one of the most unique comic films I've ever seen, and that's due to many reasons. The biggest and most obvious reason being Joaquin Phoenix as Arthur Fleck. I'm not going to get into if he's better than Heath Ledger as the Joker, because they are two very different versions of the character. All I'll say is that at least he's better than Jared Leto. Phoenix is an incredible actor, and he brings so much to the character. His arc is a tragedy with him having goals and dreams that get shattered throughout the course of the film due to his actions and the people around him breaking his psyche into pieces, leading to the transformation of the Joker, and does a great job showing the good side of this character, where you want to see him get out of the scenario, but drawn back enough to where you're always on edge as a viewer of what he's going to do next. It's really a mesmerizing and nuanced performance that is the best I've seen from Phoenix, as someone who's seen most of his movies. And the reason I'm talking about this so much is because the film is carried on Joaquin's shoulders, and he carries it strongly. He definitely deserved the Oscar.
You get what you fucking deserve!
There was the acting itself from everyone else as well. The production design is another aspect done really well, with it feeling a Taxi Driver and King of Comedy, due to the immense detail put into sets, costumes, and so much more. The score is haunting and powerful that emphasizes every scene of the film, and creates extra atmosphere and makes the film more immersive. Again, another Oscar well deserved. The writing is great also. It's refreshing to see a comic film that have so many subplots and Easter eggs inside of sequels. I enjoy those types of films, but just having a character study about this guy going insane, and the themes about our society reflecting off the film's time period, and comparing it to now, really brought the film on another level, because it's something most people can relate to. What really brings the film star to stage show is Todd Phillips. He put his heart and soul into the film and proved that he was more than just a guy who directed the Hangover trilogy. You can see his vision put onto the screen and every scene feels well crafted and meticulous. It showed a different side of him that has been hid away for years due to directing comedies. And although I enjoy most of his other work, especially the first Hangover being one of my favorite comedies of all time, I'm glad he took this risk and it really paid off. It's a breath of fresh air for the comic genre. There isn't much to say here other than a couple of nitpicks on one big issue. I feel like a couple plots could have been cut out because they feel out of place in the story, mainly with Zazie Beetz' character. She's good in the movie, but her storyline, or lack thereof, with Arthur, really ended up amounting to nothing in the end, with it all being a hallucination, which I didn't even realize the first time when I saw the movie. I thought she got freaked out by him because she found out he was killing people. Anyways, it doesn't serve much other than I guess another reason for Arthur to snap, despite there's already so many things to love to that. Also, I feel the film was one scene too long. It should have ended with Arthur dancing in the streets of Gotham in my opinion. It would have been way more impactful and ambiguous instead of leaving it off at Arkham. It's a good scene, but I would have rather had the decision made. But the main thing that annoys me about the film is that over-homaging to Taxi Driver and King of Comedy. I enjoyed the film taking inspiration from other movies, but at points throughout the film, if you've seen both those movies, there are so many lines, scenes, and moments taken from those films, along with it being set in the 80s, and the story they decided to tell with Arthur felt so much like they used those films as the baseline for this film, which is fine at points, but it felt so much like a knockoff Scorsese film that it almost feels like plagiarism at points, but at least it's done well. Overall, Joker is a fantastic film. It takes the roots of this iconic villain and turns it into something disturbing and very unique, and proves to the people that believe the superhero genre is on its way out that it's very much alive and more films like this are produced, the balance of the big blockbusters. I love the MCU big spectacle movies, but it's not taking a grounded, gritty character study like this that isn't focused on staying with a franchise, not even a sequel, but on one guy, Arthur Fleck, which one I think is perfect in the film without a doubt. And although I'm opposed to a sequel being made, I wouldn't be mad about it because Joaquin's performance is so good, and I want to see more of him as his character. The production design, writing, score, pace, acting from everybody in supporting roles, cinematography, editing, and more is just done so well here. With Todd Phillips' writing and directing, they really can do serious films like this and do it greatly. For a film that feels adult, it's not R-rated to be edgy. It feels rough edged to mess up, that I haven't seen this genre so far with the exception of Logan. That shows how great a film can be if you let a director make their vision come true, and shows how far Warner Bros. And DC have come from the old DCEU days. The film isn't perfect due to some minor issues, and how much it does take from Taxi Driver and King of Comedy, which does knock it down a couple points, but as a whole, it's not only a great comic book film, it's a great film. I give Joker an A, a 9.5 out of 10, and a must-watch recommendation. So that's Joker, what do you guys think about it? Leave your thoughts in the comments, please don't forget to like and subscribe to our content. I'm CBMF Productions, and this isn't the last DC film review, because justice needs to be served.